Hey guys, this is Caleb Jackson at Barbie Jackson Insurance. Um, Talking to you today about setting up your DOT and your MC number, and in particular, things you want to choose as far as the commodities hauled and the amount of units that are on your policy and some things of that sort. Basically, just to show you how it looks on our end when we're quoting and make sure that you guys are filling out the app for your DOT and MC as cleanly as possible. I'm going to show you an example today, kind of what not to do. That way you can see what I deem as a problem. Whenever you're filling out your application, I would suggest you don't do this. So that I thought would be the easiest way for me to kind of get my point across today. So I'm going to go to www.safersys.org, and I'm going to show you kind of what we look at whenever you call us for a quote. So usually by the time you've called me, you already have your DOT or your MC number set up. And as you see, I just went to company snapshot there on the Safer site, and I'm going to type in a DOT number that I'm certain we're going to gray out so you guys can't see it, but it's just for an example, so don't worry about that. All right, while we pull this up, I'm going to tell you this gentleman called me for a quote for dry van. He's just going to be pulling dry van freight, uh, long haul, and he wanted a quote for basically department store freight. No reefer, no hazmat, no oversized loads, just regular dry van freight, unlimited radius, one truck. Well, on this snapshot, you can see there's a pretty good bit of information as we start out here. His operating status says not authorized, but that's not uncommon. A lot of times it'll say not authorized until you get your insurance set up, and then it reports your filing to the carrier, and the carrier will report it to the DOT, and the DOT will authorize your authority. I'm mainly talking about today, though, is the section about cargo carried, and also the power units that you schedule on your DOT. The first thing is the number of power units. Try to get that as accurate as possible when you start. If you only have one truck right now, but you're hoping to have 6 trucks in the next 2 years, put one truck on here. The reason being, if you put 5 trucks on your DOT when you sign up and we see 5 units there, and then we go to quote the policy and you only give us one truck, that's going to send up a red flag to underwriting. Hey, where are these other 4 trucks? Why did they sign up with 5 and we're only getting to quote 1? And they're afraid there's a coverage gap. So just only ever put however many trucks you have at the time. You can always add to it later if you decide to get more units. Now, my biggest concern on this one is the commodities or the cargo carried. A lot of you don't do this on purpose. It's just you don't want to limit yourself on what you can haul. So the train of thought is, well, let me just select everything and then I'll be able to haul anything I want to. It sounds good in theory. The problem is whenever an underwriter or me as an agent comes and looks at this page and we see that you've got 15 commodities selected, we have to try to rate you, based on what the worst thing that can happen would be. Well, if these are your commodities lists, even though that this gentleman has told me he's hauling dry van freight, I'm most likely going to have to rate him as hauling logs or coiled steel or U.S. mail, garbage and refuse. There's just too many things selected that he's allowed to haul according to the DOT for me to be able to just say, oh, well, he's just doing dry van. My suggestion is whenever you're selecting your cargo carried on the DOT side or when you're getting your MC number, select the cargo that you absolutely know you're going to be carrying first. Maybe 1, maybe 2 items. Start there, get your MC number and your DOT number activated. If you decide further down the line that you're getting loads for a type of cargo that you haven't listed yet, call and list it at that time. But I would always suggest just choosing 1, maybe 2 cargoes carried when you're starting out with your DOT or your MC number. It keeps it simple and clean on your snapshot page, and it also helps us out because there's not as much to explain to underwriting. Well, that's it for today. My name is Caleb Jackson with Barbie Jackson Insurance, and don't forget to stop by our website, www.barbiejackson.com.